What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at all of the Decepticon cards, which are going to be coming out in War for Cybertron Siege II. That is the new expansion of the Transformers trading card game, which is scarily close to coming out. That's right, Halloween language. So, Decepticon cards. Now, first of all, just a quick shout out to a couple of cards which really are for TRYPTI-CON. TRYPTI-CON, remember, is the box topper promo which is going to be coming out for Wave 4. And essentially, it's got a bunch of characters underneath it which can only be played using Battlefield Incursion. So, Battlefield Incursion is technically a Decepticon card, but really it's for TRYPTI-CON. And similarly, Relentless Invasion, which is both a star card and one of the very few cards we've seen that have 3 different pips. If you have TRYPTI-CON on the battlefield, put Full Tilt, Wipeout and Brunt from your KO area onto the battlefield fully repaired. The characters put onto the battlefield this way attack this turn. At the end of turn, put each of these characters that's still on the battlefield under TRYPTI-CON. So essentially, when they all get KO'd, you can bring them back, attack with them, put them back on the TRYPTI-CON, and then it's back to using Battlefield Incursion to get them out again. Now, another card I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail in here is Even the Score. I adore Even the Score. I was lucky enough to actually have the exclusive reveal of it, because the folks at the Transformers trading card game are wonderful, beautiful people. But I've done a whole video, and it was an exclusive reveal. I will say that it is a star card, and it is a double orange icon card, great for attacking. And it is a secret action. When one of your Decepticons takes more than enough damage to be KO'd, then you do the extra attack damage to the attacker and put this card in your KO area. I think this is a phenomenal card, I'll be honest with you. I just think this is great. Because the other thing to remember here is we've got a lot of very aggressive cards at the moment, a lot of decks that really want to play orange and go nuts, and this just punishes them for doing so. If they do too much damage to KO, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. And the other card that doesn't really count so much here is Overwhelming Advantage. Now, don't get me wrong, Overwhelming Advantage is technically a Decepticon card. It's got the logo and the border and all of that. It is a Decepticon card. However, it's not just for Decepticons. So what Overwhelming Advantage does is when one of your characters attacks this turn, if the upgrades on that character include one of each of the 5 pips, and you flip at least one of each of the 5 pips, you do 15 damage to an enemy, whichever one you like. And although it's not guaranteed, let's just say there is an incredibly good chance that whatever you actually hit with that will end up being KO'd. It's rather lovely. Pretty difficult to actually pull off here, mind you, but technically possible. It's there. It's just, yeah, it's an awkward one. Now, the reason it's a Decepticon card is that for each Decepticon you have on the battlefield, you get to plan one. That is to say, put one card from your hand on top of your deck. So this could be 2, 3, 4, and what you're essentially doing here is stacking your deck to make it more likely that you actually pull off the main effect of doing the 15 damage. Might not be possible, but I like that it's got an orange and a green icon, which makes it more likely that you're going to actually get all of the things that you need. I mean, that's 2 of the 5 icons right there. Incidentally, we did go through this when I did a video about this. I'll link it in the description. It is possible to flip all 5 icons with just 2 cards. It is not possible to get all 5 icons on using just 2 upgrades. You will need a 3rd upgrade. Phenomenal if you can get it working. That's a very big if. Now, one of my favourite cards from the set is actually Pincer Movement. Now, Pincer Movement, once again, we're talking about a star card. So it's not just something you can randomly pop in your deck and just cross your fingers. It needs to really be a part of your strategy because, well, it's It's a star card. Takes one of your 25 stars. Now, it does have both an orange and a blue icon, which is lovely. More icons is good. And it reads, when one of your Decepticons attacks an enemy this turn, you get an extra attack, but only with one of your other Decepticons against the same enemy. And as a side note, I love how this card is perfectly encapsulated by the artwork on the card. That makes me delighted. Essentially, this allows you to gang up two of your characters onto one of your opponent's characters. Think of it like a weaker version of All Out Attack. Although All Out Attack is an extremely expensive, difficult to get card, and All Out Attack doesn't have a blue pip, and this is very much two characters against one, whereas All Out Attack is any of your Transformers can attack. However, they don't have to, it's very much an optional thing. But it's all of them, and it's against anybody. I like Pincer Movement. Pincer Movement is a great card for when you absolutely have to take down a particular character. You don't know if you've got quite enough on the board at the moment, so in you come with Pincer Movement to finish them off. It's really kind of cool. It's also kind of situational, won't always work, but when it does... Now, we do have a secret action, another one, and it is Backfire. You reveal it when one of your Decepticons defends, and then you do damage to the attacker equal to the number of upgrades on that attacker. Generally speaking, you're going to be talking 0 to 3 damage. Now, I suppose you might be against something like Dreadwing, which in theory could have 6 upgrades on. Or your opponent might be playing something like Attack Drone, for instance. Attack Drone, when you play one, you may play another, and up to 3 can fit in a weapon slot. So if your opponent plays, say, 3 Attack Drone, and then let's say they play something like 3 Cargo Trailer, let's say they're a truck, then yeah, okay, you can make this work. There can be more. I mean, certainly anyone that's really trying to make use of Equipment Enthusiast lets you draw a card for each of your upgrades on the field. This is going to be a great counter for that, although that's not a card we see played all that much nowadays. The point is, this is just extra cheeky damage. The thing is, it's only to the attacker, so you don't get a free choice of where the damage goes. And also, it's kind of in your opponent's control. You don't decide how many upgrades are on there, they decide how many upgrades are on there. So if they know you've got a Backfire down, they might decide to attack the character with fewer upgrades. It can be really good, but 1 damage, you'd be better off just playing Zap. 2 damage, there's an argument for Plasma Burst, although to be fair, Plasma Burst has no icon, this at least has a blue icon. I like the card very much indeed, but please do be warned, this is one of those that could end up being a rather bad card, and it is very much in your opponent's control as to how useful this ends up being. And then we can finish with a couple of armors, which are very much... well, mostly for Decepticons. So the first one, Terrifying Resilience, has got an orange icon and a black icon. It doesn't actually give you any extra defense as we might expect from armor, but it cannot be put on Autobots, and it gives you Tough 2. That is to say, you flip 2 more battle cards while defending. It's quite good. I mean, it's really the pip combination that make this. Honestly, Tough 2 itself isn't hideously impressive. I mean, we had body armor back in Wave 1 that gave Tough 3, and okay, only to melee characters, but still, it was a pretty good option. Tough 2 is fine, but Tough 2 when you have both an orange and a black icon, that's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. Good work. And then finally, we've got Hazardous Shield. Now, it only has a black icon, and it's not really a Decepticon card, except it is. Let me explain. It gives you +1 defense, which is lovely, and it doesn't give any boost to Decepticons generally, or any individual Decepticons. It does not hurt Autobots, it does not hurt mercenaries. What it does do is give you revenge. Now, revenge skills have been Decepticon only. There's no rule that we've seen that says revenge skills are only for Decepticons. It just so happens that up till now, revenge skills have only been given to Decepticons. So, I mean, if we go back to another card that I was lucky enough to reveal, Raider Rumble has a very nice revenge skill in alt mode where you do 2 damage to an enemy. It is a skill that comes in when you are KO'd. When you go down, you get an extra little bonus. So this is an upgrade. It's an armor, you get +1 defense, and it means that when you go down, you get to scrap an enemy weapon or an enemy armor. And that's kind of cool. It's not out and out phenomenal, I don't think. I mean, certainly we got a million other cards out there like Ramming Speed that can do this better. And certainly Bashing Shield with the green icon is a better option for just getting rid of an armor. But actually, it's quite nice. It is nice as a revenge skill. Kind of a, you're taking me down, but I'm taking your armor or weapon with me. Doesn't work for utilities. And being a revenge skill means it's not always going to work exactly when you want it to. And the +1 defense is frankly underwhelming. There's a million different cards out there that can give you +1 defense. The black icon I do like if you're going for a Pierce deck. Honestly, for me, the most interesting thing about this is that it's a Decepticon card, but it gives no benefit to Decepticons or any individual member thereof, and it gives no detriment to any other faction. It works perfectly on any character. It just so happens to be a Decepticon card. And that's very important because something like, I mean, if we go to Wave 3, we can have a look at Major Soundwave. And Major Soundwave lets you play the top card of your deck as if it were in your hand, just so long as it is a Decepticon card or a secret action. So even though it doesn't do anything specific for Decepticons, it still totally counts. That's why it's got the icon. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Those are all the Decepticon cards that are in Wave 4, but at this stage, I'd like to know what you think about them. So let me know in the comment section, which one's your favourite? Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about Transformers and, well, whatever other games take our fancy. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.